Hello and welcome to this week's guest episode of the Unsure to Unstoppable podcast. Check me with my wee whatever D camera. So we have upgraded the webcam, mostly because I broke my laptop one, to be fair, but it's definitely better quality, which is all good, which is what we love. So. Today I'm going to be joined by Michelle Reade. I met Michelle at Womanifest about a month ago, there or thereabouts. We figured out we'd actually met each other before, maybe at the big festival. Can't remember what it was at, but it was at another event. We'd kind of crossed paths before. So met her at the Womanifest. She came to my workshop. Lovely, lovely, lovely girl. And I'm excited when I popped up the post a couple of weeks ago about opening up new spaces. She dropped into my DMs, so I'm really, really excited to have her. She's just a beautiful, beautiful soul, and I'm excited to hear her story because I don't really know an awful lot about her story. So you are in the same boat as me, and we're just going to see what happens. Anyway, I am going to pause this right now, and we'll be back with Michelle in a little tick. Fabulous. Right, here she is, the woman of the hour, Michelle. We're so excited to have you on the podcast. And like I said just before I brought you on, first of all, thanks so much for coming on. I actually don't know all that much of your story. We've kind of bumped into each other at a couple of events and stuff like that, but I'm
Yeah,
excited to hear all about it. So, for anybody listening who doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, basically.
amazing. So it's great to be here and thank you for having me. I'd have never have met you if you'd never stuck a peg to me. But I love it. But I'm Michelle Reade and I run my own business, Michelle Reade Coaching, and I help local business owners who are kind of stuck at a ceiling, quite possibly close to burnout, get their life back, have a proper day off, actually go on holiday, have a difficult conversation, make decisions that they probably already know the answer to. But I'm somebody that's cheerleading in their corner, helping and supporting them all the time so they don't feel alone.
I love that. I love that. Do you know, funnily enough, I've just had a conversation with a lot of dance coaches just
Yeah,
about that, literally, and I've been like sermon Donna in the texts. So if you could, obviously, life wasn't always like this. So you're obviously
no,
in a great and doing an amazing thing. Normally, they always it comes off the back of some sort of pain.
yes,
So if you could describe the version of you before this kind of transformation, if
yeah,
you like,
yeah.
what would that be?
Absolutely. Well, actually, if I go back about 17 years ago, I won't give you my whole life story from birth, don't
That's
panic.
okay. That's
But if I go back about 17 years ago, my husband was in the forces and we were living overseas, and I just had my two small children, and I wanted something to do. I'd come out of a great career in retail, and I was offered to go into a franchise for a weight loss company. So
right.
I went into that, absolutely loved it. Had the privilege of moving all over the country and abroad, helping people have a better quality of life, which is a thing that's always run through me.
Yeah.
So I did that for 15 years, adored it, worked my way up, helped thousands of people lose weight, completely change their lives, step
Mhm.
into employment, mainly in the franchising sector, which I loved. But the core thing all the way through was developing people.
Yeah.
However, as I kind of got to the top of my career, I was looking after 850 franchises, looking after about 430 members of the team, franchise owners. And coming out of COVID, it was great, but I'd felt like I'd carried the weight of the world during COVID.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realized, but I'd got myself so into burnout. And because I was always just keep going, I'll just keep doing this. I
Yes.
hadn't realized how bad it had got. And because I was on robot, on autopilot, and I think lots of us women do this, and lots of men actually do it too. And there came to a point, I remember it was on a Tuesday afternoon that I literally just had the biggest breakdown ever. My poor husband was sat in his office thinking, why is she snotting everywhere? My best
Yeah.
friend was phoning her, who you've met, I think, and you were thinking, flipping heck, what is going on here? So that for me was a massive wake up call. It didn't happen initially,
Mhm.
um, but I handed my notice in on that role. It was huge because I've always specialized in franchising, helping and developing people, but it was my wake up call that actually life needs to be better than this. And I spent the last 20 years running around looking after other people that I did need to put myself and my family first. Did I
Mhm.
regret working loads of hours when they were younger? No, because it's made them the strong girls that they are today.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to teach them that actually life doesn't need to be like this. You need to help, support, look after yourself. So then I went into another role, which was great again, helping people, but actually in the care sector, helping develop the franchises all over the UK, which we massively grew. And So I got into it. I did it for about 18 months. It was good, loved it, still developing people, helping people, but was that pull and my values were missing.
Hmm.
And when I look back now, my values had completely changed in the company that I was in for 15 years. The family tree always used to work that way, but with a change in not ownership and a changing leadership at the top, it seemed to change the hierarchy. And again, my values didn't sit because integrity is one of my strongest ones. And then this other company I was working with, some of the values were great, but some of them just didn't quite sit by me.
Yeah.
And I just had the conversation one day with my husband and said, I'm going to go out on my own. So, and that's what I did. And I absolutely love it. I really do. But if I'd never got myself into that position, I'd probably still be working in the corporate game. But
Yeah.
it's taught me loads about myself. Yeah, as the word to use, I may have gone a little bit woo, but actually I found myself in the whole thing and it's been amazing.
Yeah. I'm here for the woo. We're here for the woo.
I know you are.
Oh, we got a wee bit funny there. Oh my god, we're back, we're back. So there's loads of there that I can totally
We're
resonate.
back.
Yeah, you back? You hear me okay? Um,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
the values thing, massive. I went into care as well for a period of time, kind of like the kind of tail end of lockdown, like that kind of time,
yeah,
because obviously the whole world closed down and it was like shit, what we doing, sort of thing. And oh, we're back, we're back, we're back.
yeah.
And like that, my
We are
values,
back.
yeah, my values were so pulled, and I found myself like really
Yeah,
and emotionally really like a bit destroyed because I was like battling against
yeah.
this kind of brick wall constantly, and it
Mm,
felt so disconnected and so misaligned, and it's so
yeah,
hard to be in that environment where
yeah,
it just doesn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
similar to you, that was when I was like, I'm not, the system thing, isn't it? I can't do
yeah,
this. There must be
yeah,
more. There must be another
yeah,
way, sort of a thing. So I can totally resonate with that. And like we said at the beginning, often when you become a coach, it's came from that place of being there first. And I
yeah,
think so many
absolutely.
people can resonate with that when you've actually been there. Like all the people can read the books and da 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 da, da, but unless you've actually can feel exactly how that person feels, then there's a bit of a disconnect, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is, I mean, my head has always been very strategic. I'm very business, but actually, this has taught me to bring in. I've always been kind, caring, compassionate. It's one of my biggest things. I know it sounds a bit cheesy,
Love
and I
it.
have been probably berated and people like, oh, you're too soft from time. But actually, now what I focus on is the strategic bit, but also the mindset bit. So I can bring the business and the mindset, the confidence, the courage, the imposter syndrome, the people pleasing, all those things together as one to help business owners be more successful in what they
Yeah,
do. Because it's a thing that gets in the way of everybody
yeah.
achieving what they want to achieve.
And
So
obviously
yeah,
you said like, but we're going back to when you were like that moment sort
yeah,
of a, a Tuesday
yeah.
afternoon and you totally remember it. What were some of the beliefs that you held about yourself back then?
Um, I think there were quite a lot of beliefs that I held. I'd kind of silence myself. I'd stop using my voice. I stopped talking. I didn't want to be wrong for what I said. I'd lost my confidence. I had very much had imposter syndrome. If my area or my region, as they were called, weren't doing as well as everybody else, they actually were. We were in just different places, but all of those things, the overthinking, it all come into my head, and I hadn't realized over time I'd become a shell in my own body.
Hmm.
And the beliefs that I had about myself, that I was shit, that I was rubbish, that
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. And it's taken me probably 3 years to rebuild that. Do you know what? I'm bloody good at what I do. I've helped
Yeah.
850 plus businesses achieve amazing things. But asked me 3 years ago, I thought I was shit at everything that I did. And it's taken all that time because of how, I'm not blaming anybody. It's how it worked kind of thing. It's how it when you're in that role. Yes, bonuses and money are great, but actually, if somebody said to me, "Have 2 weeks off to go to a retreat and look after yourself and have your headspace," that probably would have done me better than a 10 grand bonus.
Yeah.
Um,
100.
which, yeah. So, but yeah, there are a lot of beliefs I had about myself, and lots of them we hear every day, don't we?
Yeah. And this is
Um,
the thing is people think it's like a just work it's called that and thing, but it takes time. Like you just said, it's
yeah,
took you 3 years because it's all this
yeah,
conditionedness, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
conditioned and therefore it takes time to like unlearn these beliefs that you've begun to have about
yeah,
yourself and then
yeah.
relearn more positive ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think some of them was like, I used to, people say you can't be warm, kind, compassionate, and straight and honest. Well, I beg to disagree. I think you actually can.
Yes.
And because I was trying to be straight and honest to move the business forward, I lost my warmth and kindness, which is actually one of my biggest values, because I think you can be both. And then
Mhm.
those kind of beliefs were kind of knocked out of me. Yes, there's things we need to achieve, but actually, I think bundling it all up together is actually the way to help support and talk to people and help them be inspired to move on.
Absolutely.
So I lost that for a bit. It's always been inside me, but I'd forgotten how to show it like I always had done. And because I used to think, well, people thought warmth and kindness, she's weak.
Yeah, 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 for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
And like you said about the silencing thing, like I
yeah,
think that is quite a blanket thing in a lot of women, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
men and women, I'm sure, but obviously both of us work more with women, don't we?
yeah, yeah,
So like it is a thing though, like you feel as if you can't speak up and you can't say that, and it's wild, like
yeah,
actually no, you can, like you can,
yeah,
you don't need to be rude about it, you don't need to be
yeah.
disrespectful. It's just about but honoring yourself and respecting your own self as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's an amazing book. I can't remember who it's by, but somebody listening, it's called Unlearning Silence. Somebody said to me about reading that, and it's an absolutely brilliant book. So if anybody's listening, is in that place, it massively helped me, as well. Used to listen to it in the car while I was driving around, and it really helped me,
Mhm.
to get through and say, actually, my voice is important. I have got something to share.
Absolutely,
Um,
100%. And the more of us
yeah,
that are being true to ourselves and authentic to ourselves and shouting things for the rooftop, the more people that'll be like, oh, actually, if they can do it, I can do that too. And,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that's it's a ripple effect, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say, and you'll probably say the same. It's not still there, those feelings. They don't come up. They always still come up, and they always are. But you find different coping mechanisms, don't you?
Absolutely. So look
Yeah.
back, what were you tolerating or accepting that you wouldn't tolerate or accept anymore?
Um, I was accepting that it was normal to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week, to
Wild.
get calls at 10, 11 o'clock at night. I thought that was normal. And I thought if I didn't do it, I wouldn't might not have a job tomorrow morning. Thought
Hmm.
I'd be made redundant, obviously because of trying to rebuild from COVID.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't accept the boundaries. The boundaries are a big thing now that I've learned.
Hmm.
There was no boundary before. So I definitely wouldn't accept that. I wouldn't accepted the way I was made to feel in meetings either, because I didn't have the strength in me to be strong enough to
Hmm.
say my point or put it across. And that was me. It's nobody, I'm not blaming anybody else,
Yeah.
but actually I wouldn't have accepted that my voice didn't count either, because now
Yeah.
I'm like, actually, I've got a point to make. Hello, I don't care if I'm lost. Yeah, I'll stand on my chair if I need to, kind of thing. But yeah, you know what
Oh,
I mean? Whereas before, I was like, don't talk to me. I don't want to give you my opinion. So yeah, so
yeah.
like boundaries were absolutely massive. The boundaries, I remember getting a call at midnight one night. I just walked into a hotel room trying to arrange the next day, and I'll be like, what the?
And
I
did you
know.
question at the time, or was it just normal?
It was just normal. I just
That's
went with
fine.
it. Checking your phone in the toilet in case you missed something. That kind of, so
Yeah.
boundaries were a big thing that I would not stand for now.
Yeah.
Okay, if a client texts me at 10 o'clock at night, if I'm around, I'll reply, but it's on my terms now,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is very, very different to what it
Yeah.
was. I felt I had to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that a lot of that was the conditioning over the years,
Yeah.
which I get. So yeah, boundaries are a big thing. Using my voice was a big thing that I wouldn't accept now. And taking time for me to know it's okay to rest. It's okay to time. I was like a Duracell bunny. I was like looking after two kids, running the house, looking after my husband, looking after massive teams, making sure I was on for everybody. But now
Mhm.
I've learned that rest is really important as well. And you
And
don't
that's something
perform
we're
on full
not.
cylinders.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That is something, again, similar to you. I was just like, go, 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 go. Da, da, da,
Yeah,
da, da.
yeah,
And actually, do you know what? It's funny when you actually think now, I don't know about you, but I'm like,
yeah.
how did I do that? Like, how
I
did
know.
I
It's mental,
physically
isn't
do
it?
that?
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
weird. I used to teach fitness classes as well, and I would do like,
yeah,
I would maybe be teaching four, but then I'd also go to four, like,
yeah.
as well as being mum, da, 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 and whatever. I'm like,
I
mind
know,
blowing.
I know, but we do it, don't we? Because at the
You've done
time,
it. Hmm.
we thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I used to drive all over the country. I mean, I live down in Bournemouth. I know it's a bit away from you, but I used to drive to Cornwall and back in a day, which is like an 8 hour round trip. Go for a meeting, come back. What was I thinking? And now I've got to drive 10 minutes to pick my daughter up from work. I'm moaning.
Yes. So, was
Not
there a
quite.
specific moment, experience, or realization that something shifted for you? Was it that Tuesday, or was it something like leading up to that, after that? Was it
I think it
anything?
was leading up a bit before that. When you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to be here, I
Yeah.
would go to meetings. We'll talk about this as quite a lot actually. I used to pinch my coping mechanism was pinching my hand under the table so I didn't cry
Right.
because I felt out of
That's
place.
mad.
So I used to literally pinch my hand under the table so I could try and remain strong. And
Mhm.
yeah, it was really bizarre, but it was just the only technique that I could find. Like if I pinched my hand, I wouldn't cry and I could stay composed throughout the whole
Mhm.
meeting. So I think it'd been building up
Mhm.
a lot before. Lots of other things happened where everyone was promoted. I was led to believe I had a promotion too. They all had champagne to celebrate in a meeting one night. My name wasn't mentioned at all on the manager's table. And it was just little things like that that I knew it was time to go.
Mhm.
But obviously, when you've got a big salary, when
It's
you
scary.
know,
Mhm.
yeah. And there was that time that I had to feel like it was okay to have a conversation with my husband that, do you know what, something needs to change.
Mhm. Mhm.
And he's been amazing. He's been really supportive.
That's good. That's
Um,
important as well, isn't it? Having that
yeah,
support network.
yeah,
And see about the having a thing with your hand so that you
yeah,
don't cry. Like that is awful. Like that is
yeah,
absolutely awful. But at the
yeah,
same respect that see being in these positions, they've nudged you into doing what you're doing now, isn't it? So
yeah, yeah. Oh my
there's a
goodness, yeah,
blessing in that. Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely. And I hadn't realised, I had a car accident with a lorry years ago and coming home from work one night on the motorway. And throughout the end, while I was there, I used to blame crying in the car if I'd gone past a lorry. It wasn't nothing to do with the bloody lorry. It was that actually I didn't want to be there. And I had to really spend some time looking at all these things because I
Mhm.
hadn't realised. But now I have to use my voice and share those things to let other people know that actually it's okay if you're feeling like this. It's okay if
Yeah,
these things are going on because you will find a way out of it. You
yeah,
absolutely will. I've become a shell in my own body, but
yeah,
have just found coping mechanisms all the way. I used to drink loads,
yeah,
and there was loads of it. So
yeah. And it's all that suppression, isn't it? Suppression, emotion suppression, not being allowed
yeah,
to cry, not being allowed to feel angry, not being allowed to feel
yeah,
whatever. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
actually, sometimes you need to be raging. Sometimes
yeah,
there is pure reason to be raging. Go and fucking
yeah,
be raging.
yeah, exactly,
Go to the
exactly.
woods and scream. I mean, it
Yeah,
is. I mean,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
because
But because
you
we're
need to
so
allow it.
conditioned, we don't. This is what
Yeah.
society thinks we should do. This is how we should behave.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't say that. That's out of place. You can't do that. That's out of
Yeah.
place. And it's from a young age. It's a big thing, isn't it? That
Yeah.
lots of us are dealing with and compete with at the minute. But yeah, sometimes I just want to say fuck off to everybody, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was the first step? Was the first step you speaking to your husband? Was that the first step for you?
The first step for me actually was doing a bit of the work myself,
Okay.
thinking. I think the biggest thing was the financial side of it.
Mm.
That was my biggest stopper from making a step and
Hmm.
thinking, actually, what's the impact it going to be on my family and health? So he knew I wasn't great, but I had to get it straight in my head that actually, even if I did a different job for a smaller salary, we would be okay. We would
Yeah.
find a way. So I had to come to terms with it myself. I knew I needed to do it,
Hmm.
but I kind of had to sell it still. And this is why
Yeah.
I knew it
To
wasn't still,
yourself.
but yeah,
Yeah.
to sell it to myself that it's going to be okay. That actually I've given it quite a long time, but I'm still not better.
Yeah.
I only had, looking back, I only had a week off sick because after 15 years service, that's all I was entitled to payment. Um,
That's wild.
so if I'd had 6 months off, I might have still been there. Who knows? But
Yeah. Yeah.
actually, what's happened from it is great. It really
Yeah.
is. But I had to come to terms with it myself before I spoke to my husband.
Hmm.
My best friend was great. She's a real sounding board, but she's got her own opinions of what she would do. But she was always a cheerleader.
Hmm.
She'd always say, "Go for it."
Okay, that's
I
so
knew
good.
I knew I hadn't made the right decision to jump from a job into a job,
Hmm.
but actually from going from that big job to jump into a smaller job, it did give me some breathing space
Yeah. It's
to
like
then
steps.
say,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a step that I needed to do for
Hmm.
myself. So even though I'd have liked to, there was still that financial tie that had to bring in some money. So I did it in steps,
Yeah.
because that was the way I could do it.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's different and some people can't, but in my head, it still had to be logical. I still had to have a
Yeah.
plan,
Yeah.
to be able to do it. So I think the year doing the other job was great. It was 9 to 5. Yeah, I was
Hmm.
traveling all over the UK, but I still had time to look after myself, go to the gym,
Yeah.
do all those kind of things. And I just thought, no, I want to do it myself. The
Yeah.
values came again, the integrity's not there. I'm going to
Hmm.
go out on my own and just do it. Let me know what it's like. It's not as easy, is it? As
No,
we thought it
it's
would be.
really not. It's really, really not. But I think your story, loads of people resonate with it because there's like, if you think, and I know you'll have spoke to loads of people because of what you do, but there's so many. Oh, we went Judy again. There's so
Yeah,
many people that are in jobs that they are miserable in. And
yeah,
like that, it's like almost like I was speaking that in that chat that I was telling you about earlier on with the
yeah,
dance teachers. It's like
yeah,
this scarcity, isn't it? Like this scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. So it's
yeah,
like
all the time.
the fear of the unknown, the fear of what if it doesn't work out, the fear of, but equally, like if you don't go for it, then you're stuck.
You never know.
You're staying in that environment
Yeah,
that you're
yeah,
miserable, that you're drinking, that you're all doing
yeah,
all these coping mechanisms,
yeah,
suppressing your emotions. Like,
yeah,
what is the goal? Like, what is your
yeah,
life going to become if you're staying
yeah,
in this environment? And like that, it's the steps, do the steps,
yeah,
that thing.
yeah,
But I think it's really like enlightening to hear that actually you done that and you made the scary decisions, even if it wasn't steps, it's still big
yeah,
scary decisions,
yeah, yeah.
and there's beauty came off the back of it. Do
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
it's
I mean?
amazing. It's
Mhm.
absolutely amazing. It's still everything I do is about developing and helping people, and I still
Mhm.
get to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got lots of strings to my bow. I think we lots of entrepreneurs have, but
Yeah.
actually, the
My
core of
kids.
it all, yeah, exactly. The core of it all is helping developing people and being somebody else's cheerleader, because I
Yeah.
don't think we do enough of that, cheerleading each other on.
Mhm.
And that's a massive part of what I do. I specialize in the franchising sector.
Yeah.
However, I work locally with smaller business owners. I
Yeah.
run community events because I think there's nothing better than connection and collaboration in the room
Absolutely.
together. So I'm just kind of, it is all developing people, bringing people together, though, the
Mhm.
whole flipping thing, because
Yeah.
I would hate for anybody to feel as alone that I did,
Mhm.
to be in a big company, but I
And
was
feel
lost. I
alone.
was completely alone without the right people around me. And
Mhm.
then again, I'm not blaming. There's no blame
Yeah.
culture
Yeah.
in all of this. It was the place that I'd got myself into as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like
So
that
yeah,
is, I remember somebody saying, obviously my story is different in the sense that
yeah,
mine's domestic abuse and stuff like that. But I
mm,
remember I actually spoke about this on my solo episode that I done.
yeah,
I remember going on a date with somebody and they said, I don't know why anybody would let somebody treat them like that. And I was full blown triggered at the time.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I was like, I'm never speaking to you again. But actually, that it's so true. Like it is
yeah,
so true. Like so,
yeah,
obviously after like learning and healing and not to say anybody's ever fully healed, but
yeah.
um, understanding. No, actually, I did let that happen. Not blaming myself, not shaming
Yeah,
myself, but it's
yeah,
like acknowledging that like actually that was the standards that I had set. That was the acceptance that I was
yes,
given, like
yeah,
having sort of thing.
yeah.
So let's talk about transformation. Do you think has been the biggest internal shift you've experienced?
Biggest internal shift. I think it's that freeing feeling. I can't
Yeah.
describe it. It's like I was carrying around like a massive boulder on the back of my shoulders continuously. I felt like I
Yeah.
had the weight of the world in my shoulders. And now I feel in a place that actually it's lifted. I feel
Mhm.
lighter. I've got a spring back in my step. Even my eyes glow. So
Yeah, I was just going to say
actually,
that.
it's that thing. It's really difficult to explain the transformation, but it is that feeling. I think the biggest thing is I carried the weight of the world.
Yeah.
I still got the weight of the world because I don't know about you, but I've always got goals. I always want to go there. I always want to do this. But
Yeah.
actually, it feels lighter. I don't beat myself up as much. I don't feel like I'm a people pleaser. I'm more than happy now to ask for help and see that it's not a weakness
Yeah.
and things like that as
100%.
well. But the feeling, the transformation becomes, I'm happy. I don't scream and shout at the kids continuously like I
Yeah.
used to do without realizing my poor husband used to get an ear bashing
Yeah.
all of the time. And I used to walk round and like just used to be like so full and so tense that it
Yeah.
really, really hurt. So I
Mhm.
think it's that relief that's come off me
Yeah.
internally completely.
And the word
So yeah,
freedom, a beautiful word, isn't it? It really
yeah,
is. And
yeah,
you can't describe. There's a picture, and I'm sure I've spoken about this before as well. But
yeah,
there's a picture I remember, and it's of Ariel, right? It's like a Disney film, right? And it's like all green and all that sort of stuff, and her head's tilted back, and there's
love
this
it.
green, but it's like that, like your voice is coming back. It's like
Yeah,
that, like kind of when
yeah,
Ursula gave her voice back, and
yeah,
like there's not. And I remember seeing the picture and be like, that is the best representation I have seen ever with
yeah,
like that feeling of being able to have your own voice and do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it, and it's so
Absolutely.
random, but I'm like,
Absolutely. Yeah, but
Ariel,
it's
let's
well, it's
go.
it, isn't it? And I always have a picture, and I absolutely love this quote. And it's that one with where she stood as an angel wings, and it says, "What if I fall?" And it
Yeah,
says at the bottom, "But my darling, what if you fly?" And
yeah,
I always have that. I know it's quite cheesy, but I'm thinking,
love
actually, if I
it. Mhm.
don't give it a go, I'm never gonna know.
Yeah.
done some wacky and weird things. I'm thinking, what the bloody hell have I done that for? And I've done some shit scary things and reached out to people that I'm thinking, shit, and I'll be reaching out. They'll probably
Look
just
at
delete
me.
me. No, but I'm just like, but you know what? You never know. People want to help each other.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, it's that biggest phrase again, comparison is the thief of joy. Stop
Mhm.
comparing yourself, be your own self,
Yeah.
and go out there and share what you've got to share with the
Yeah.
world. Because I don't know about you, but I've got a legacy I want to leave. I've got things that I want to
Absolutely.
achieve, and I'm the only one that can do that. Nobody can do it for me. So I need to get out
Yeah.
of my own head still, because
Yes.
it still
Yes.
creeps in
It does. Oh,
all the time. I'm not saying it doesn't,
oh, we've
but
been
I've
doing, we've
found
been,
coping ways to deal with it now.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
100%.
Keep freezing.
I know we're freezing and then unfreezing and then freezing and unfreezing. Hopefully the audio is all good. How did your relationship with yourself change throughout the process? Oh,
Um, I think I learnt about myself again.
hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
good.
learnt about myself again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I learnt about myself again. I stopped doing things that I love, even like cooking,
Yeah.
like walking the dog, random things that
Mhm.
you would, lots of people would just take that for granted. You do those things every day. Read a book if I want to. Like just learn things. I just was so obsessed with work. I just didn't do anything else. So I've learned that actually I have got lots of talents. There's so much I can do. So actually go out there and flip and use them rather
Yeah.
than being boxed in all the
Mhm.
time. So I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I'm always brilliant at helping other people with their emotions, but crap at my own still.
Yeah.
Kind of knew that deep down, but it's been a massive realization. But I've learned that actually there's more to life than work.
Yeah. And also I suppose see when you are helping other people, like there's a bit of a transfer, isn't there? Because it does help you too. Like it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
does. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
heal or transform or whatever as
yeah.
you that don't you? It's
It
this
feels good. It feels
yeah.
good when somebody
Mhm.
says, "Thank you, Michelle. You've made a real difference," or "Thanks, Michelle. I needed to hear that today," or "Thanks for keeping me on track." You think, "Yeah, I've done something good in the world today."
Yeah,
I absolutely
100%.
have, because we need that affirmation still.
Yeah,
And I know some people say I don't do it for that, but actually I need that for me. I still need some praise. I still need those things.
yeah.
And it's okay to want and need them still as well.
Absolutely. It's like absolutely okay. And this is like you're
Yeah.
almost shamed for like wanting to have that legacy or create that impact. But
Yeah.
ultimately, anybody who's doing any form of coaching or anything, it's impact. Like everybody's want
Yeah.
to create impact. So
Yeah.
it's okay to be like, I smashed that there.
Yeah, absolutely. I freaking
And hear
smashed
it.
that today. I mean, I was quite lost. And when I came out of job, I was like, oh my God, I had such a big network. And I was like, I'm just going to put on an event. So in April last year, with 3 months, I put on an event for 80 women in
Love
Bournemouth.
it.
I didn't know anybody, but I wanted to make an impact quickly to say, hello, I'm on the scene kind of thing, and I can help
Yeah.
and support you. So I absolutely slogged my guts out to put on an event to help and support the local community with their mindset and with their business. And I was like, oh yeah, it was all right. It was all right. But when I look back now, I think, bloody hell, I smashed it, pulled it out the bag. But at the time, I was like, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, just did
Yeah.
what I usually do. But I think looking back and taking time to celebrate the wins has been a big thing as well, because I've always been so goal focused and so
Mhm.
driven that I forgot seeing what I did achieve
The next
and always
one,
looking at
next
things.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Hmm.
that's been a massive learning curve as well, I think.
Yeah.
So
And I
great to get
think
everyone else's.
it's so crucial though, isn't it? Like I think again, I'm going to speak on behalf of women or the women that
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
worked with, but even like taking compliments and stuff like that, there's so many women that will be like, if you say, "Oh, you got your hair done," ugh, ugh, it says
Yeah, exactly.
like just be like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah, exactly.
thanks."
They're really nice trousers. Oh, I've got them in charity shop. So just say thank you. You look
Yeah,
amazing
what
in
is
them, kind of thing.
absolutely bargain.
Exactly, exactly. I think lots of us still do it, and we have to catch ourselves on
Yeah.
and think, shit, I've gone back down that route again. Stop,
Mhm.
think, breathe, process, and think, right, need to
Yeah.
get my head back in the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but when I can feel myself starting, I have to stop, catch myself on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've started journaling. I used to think that was all woo-woo shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But actually, all of those practices have massively, massively helped me,
Yeah.
massively cleared my head, massively helped me feel lighter, and given me purpose and direction again to think,
Yeah.
actually, this is it. And I love the crowd that's been so welcoming and so supportive. I've met some great people online, and sometimes you're better cheerleaders than some of the other people that you
A
know. And
100%.
it's
Yeah.
amazing the people out there. And what's that saying? We all do well when we all do well. And there's
Absolutely.
so many people that want you to do it. So yeah,
Absolutely, 100%. So, what does self-worth mean to you now compared to before?
I don't think I had any
Mm.
self-worth or any meaning to it
Yeah.
before. Self-worth was just a word.
Mm.
But for me, self-worth now is taking action, putting
Mm.
myself first, knowing that I am important, knowing that my actions, knowing that actually what's in here is important to whatever else is in there for somebody as well. And self-worth to me is saying that I am as important as the person next door, the person in the street over there, and
Mm.
putting myself first, which has been a massive healing process, let me tell you.
Yes, and I think what you said just a minute ago about like catching yourself out and reminding
Yeah,
yourself, like I think it's not like a wee magic wand and that's that you've cracked it, or neither of us have cracked it. We
no,
still have moments where you're like doubting yourself, the little voices coming in and whatever, but
yeah,
it's about recognizing it. It's quicker, isn't it? And then
absolutely.
strengthening it quickly.
Absolutely. And we've all got that inner critic in our head, haven't we, that's continuously saying, don't do that, do this, don't do that, do this,
Mm,
you're that, you're that. And it's finding somewhere else in your brain to put it,
mm,
and shutting it off. And I would say, go and put that in a box over there. So I visualize myself thinking, fuck off, go and sit in a box over there because I don't want to deal with you at the minute. So it's one of those things that I have in my head thinking, right, it's there, find a way, get it out, put it in a box, put the lid on it, and come back to it later. It's
yeah.
hard, but that's what I've had to train myself to do. So I've worked really hard on visualization techniques as well to be able to do it.
Good.
So
So you've just gave us a wee teaser as to what, like some of the stuff that you do to help that. What is there anything else that like in the journaling and stuff like that? Is there anything else that you could be like if somebody was listening to this and they can just do something like now to start shifting maybe they are the person who you were once upon a time. Is there
yeah.
anything else that you would totally advocate for as the kind of first thing to
The
do?
first thing, I think there's a couple of things. One of the first things that helped me was it was a bit of journaling, but I literally just got a pen and a piece of paper with no agenda and just sat there and wrote
Mm,
everything that was in my head. I might have been writing, I don't know what I'm going to write now, I don't know what I'm doing this, but I literally sat there for about half an hour and just wrote and wrote and wrote. And I was heartbroken at what I read when I came back, but it massively cleared my head, helped
yeah.
me see a bit of perspective in there as well. And one of the other techniques, which I absolutely love and which I do, is just imagine a backpack. Go back. If it's career, it might be whatever you're focused on, is get yourself a backpack and walk yourself through and start putting things in that backpack that you were proud of. And let
Mhm.
me tell you, that backpack will be bulging by the time you get to the present day, all those things that you've forgotten about. So there are
Oh,
a couple of quick wins that you could do. Obviously, there's lots of other things. There's lots of questions, lots of pulling, lots of thinking. But for me, if I was sat on my own now, I'd grab a pen and a bit of paper or I wasn't feeling great and just write. No agenda, no questions, just write. And if I was thinking I am really low, I'd think I'm going to go get a backpack and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go back to 2020 and I want to think what
what?
went well in that year?
Mhm.
What did I do that was great? And it might be work, it might be life, and it might be things that you think, oh, I can only put things that are this big. But actually, it might be I educated my children through COVID. And
Yeah,
everyone needs a flipping medal through that. I helped and supported a family member do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I saved up enough money to buy my first, whatever it is, all of
Yeah.
those things are absolute wins. And I think when we get so low and in a place, I think we forget about all of those things.
Mhm. Yeah.
You forget about what you've achieved, you forget about the people you've helped, you forget about the difference you've made. So I
Mhm.
would literally take myself into nature, go and write, and then go and get myself a backpack and start filling it.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it. And like you say, that when you're in that mindset, everything you just automatically go to the negative, don't you? So
Yeah,
it's
of
like a
course.
train. You need to train
Yeah,
yourself to
yeah, you
be like right,
absolutely do.
actually, hmm
Yeah. And
exactly.
I've become really good friends with a naturepreneur. I absolutely love that naturepreneur. She's amazing.
What is
Um,
that? I want to
so
know.
like somebody that helps you, takes you to nature and helps you does a lot of decision making in nature and things like that,
That's
but
it. I'm changing my job.
it takes your head to a completely different place. And I was like, oh, this is a load of rubbish. Actually, it's massively helped me. So I know that just going, sitting outside, walking the dog, or all those other things, just being in that environment, and I don't know the stats, but it massively helps you clear your thinking
Mm,
and really help with decision making as well. So if people are really struggling as well, take yourself to your favorite bench, take yourself to
yeah.
your favorite field, your favorite tree. Just go and sit down and chill because your head will start
Yeah.
do what it needs
And
to do.
like that without your phone, without distractions,
Yeah,
without, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
Stop
those
bloody scrolling.
Yeah, 100%. I could not advocate for that more. The nature stuff. Like I think I need to change my job title. I love that. I absolutely love that.
It's amazing. She's amazing.
I
So
love that.
she
Um,
massively helped me.
aye,
So
and And it's so true, isn't it? Even like you said that touched on earlier on about the doing the stuff that you love, like having well, if you like to have fun, which I think most people probably do, but like doing stuff that actually lights you
Yes,
up, doing stuff that
yes,
is something that's a bit of you rather than it just being
yeah,
this grind all the time of,
yeah,
do you know, like a phrase that I totally hate? I don't know if it's more a Scottish thing than a kind of like UK thing, but the
yeah,
plodding along chat. Like, so see if I meet bump into somebody and they'll say, I'm just plodding along, and I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
no!
yeah.
Let's not plod along. Let's do better
Yeah,
than that. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean?
don't plod along, do something exciting.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, even things like, I mean, really random things like go to the bingo with your
Yeah.
mate, whatever makes you laugh, whatever makes you happy. You know, we're going to a comedy club on Saturday night because it makes me laugh so
Yeah.
much. And it just, there's nothing like laughing, is there? It brings so much
Yeah.
joy to people.
Mhm.
It's one of
And
the
it
most
changes
favorite
your
things.
state, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because you're laughing, it changes
absolutely.
your state.
Painting. I never thought I could paint, but I've got a friend that does a painting studio. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. But I'm not great, I'm crap really, but I'm never going to be any Picasso. But all of
Yeah.
those kind of things that you stop doing, if you take yourself back, you know, I do a session, what did you want to be when you were 6 or 7 years old? Most
Mm.
people want to be a ballet dancer, a singer, or actress, or I've had some random ones in my time when I've been doing sessions. But actually, it comes back to the fun, the excitement, the
Yes.
belief in themselves that they had at that age. So you need to bring the child back into you, don't you?
Yes. All about that inner child,
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
can tell when you meet me.
I know, I know. That's why I love you because you're bonkers. But the bonkers works. It
Do you know
massively
what?
works. Exactly.
I
You
am
do
who I
brilliant
am.
sessions. You do brilliant sessions that make people feel energized, feel excited, but they can also reflect as well. And I think there's two camps, isn't there? There's the reflection and the energy, but what you do is bring together the reflection and the energy together. And I think that's really, really needed. And it's really great what you do.
Thanks. Thanks.
That's
The
right.
first time I met Michelle, I pegged her.
You pegged me. I've still got them somewhere. I've been pegged, and I was like, oh, she's my type. Something who dresses as a witch or something random. And then you were sat outside some random tent, like, do you want to come and see what we're doing? I think I know you from somewhere, but I can't work it out. And then it all came together. It's like, wow.
Brilliant. Right, let's talk about
Amazing.
being unstoppable. So it's all about unsurety unstoppable. What does being unstoppable mean to you?
Unstoppable to me is doing the things that fill your cup.
Mm,
Be unstoppable. Have that belief in yourself. Carry that backpack of all those things that you've achieved and go out there and show the world what you can absolutely do. For me, that is being unstoppable.
yeah,
Go out there and bloody do it.
yeah. And there's that whole chat about success and all that sort of stuff, isn't it? Like the monetary stuff and whatever. And obviously
Yeah.
money makes the world go round, but
Yeah.
success is different for everybody, isn't it? Like you say, it's
Mm.
what fills your cup. Like what
Yeah.
is that? And makes you
Absolutely.
doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you are filling your cup, the money, the
Uh-huh.
freedom, and all of those things come with it. If you show your passion for what you do, the
Mhm.
money might come not today, like we all want it
Yes.
to. It might come 6, 7, 8 months later. But if you're passionate about what you do, you're infectious and people want to be part of it. So
Yeah.
I think if anybody is listening and they're thinking, I love what I'm doing, but I haven't quite got it yet, go out
Mhm.
there and show what you do, be passionate about what you do, because it will come and just hang in there as well.
Yeah, and there's also again, I'm going to assume that you're probably similar to me, but it's also like the impact that you're putting on your kids as well, like
Yeah.
being that
Yeah.
mom and being that person that's like, I'm doing this, oh
Yeah,
fuck it, I'm doing this, and
absolutely.
the ripple effect that you probably don't recognize when they're younger, like they're just a bit like,
Yeah,
oh, they're doing that, whatever, but it is dripping into them, like
yeah,
slowly it's dripping into
yeah,
them. They're noticing, they notice
absolutely.
everything. So as a mum, it's really, really important to
Yeah, yeah,
what do you want your kids to do? You want your kids to believe that they can bloody like conquer the
achieve.
world. Do you know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
you
That's
do.
when you're showing them that they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you are in that box, because to be fair, that's what I was in. I was in a
Mhm.
box. Did I know that there was an impact on them? That's a whole nother thing because there was an
Yeah.
impact on them.
Yeah.
But actually, at the time, I didn't realize. But now they see me being free. They see me doing this. Yeah, they dig at me sometimes because they're
Yeah.
teenagers. Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's given them that belief, as you say, to, yeah,
Mhm.
get
Yeah.
back to themselves.
I think that was I remember having a bit again like my story's a little bit different to yours, but I remember being in therapy and being like having this guilt attached to like the kids have seen
Yeah.
this, da, 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 da. But actually my therapist at the time had said to me, but see when they see you heal, they heal too. Like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
taking everything away, like it's not taking everything away, but they are seeing that transformation, they're seeing the shift, they're seeing all this stuff, and therefore
yeah,
they're getting to see that other side of it and see the
yeah,
healing process and actually understand that that wasn't okay and this, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah,
there's so much power in that, isn't there? And like you say, you don't, and when you're in that environment or in that circumstance, you don't recognize the impact that it's having
yeah,
on your own
yeah.
kids
You
until
don't.
later, and you realize actually, like they are watching everything, like they are soaking
Yeah,
up everything, aren't
yeah.
they?
They're seeing the stress and the anger, and they're on the other end of receiving end of it sometimes as
Yeah,
well. And I used to
100%.
cry feeling guilty that I was screaming at my kids. I'm like, God, why am I doing this? I haven't done anything wrong apart from not put the school shoes on. That's
Yeah,
normal behavior.
yeah, because it's
You know
that
what I mean?
stress. It's that when you're in that high
Yeah, yeah,
stress environment, it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Anything just sets you off. So, what
yeah.
part of yourself are you most proud of, like reclaiming?
Um, I'm proud of this might be a bit naff, but I'm proud of reclaiming my smile
Oh,
again. I know it sounds a bit naff, doesn't it? But
no, it's not. I love it.
I'm proud of reclaiming my smile and the sparkle back in my eyes and the
Mm.
enthusiasm and the passion that I have for what I do because it
Mhm.
got lost. It
Yeah,
massively got lost. But for me, it's that finding my smile back again. And people say to me, "You look like a different person. You look so
yeah.
happy." So,
As soon as you
and that's
start
what I'm proud of.
speaking, as soon as you start speaking about the work that you do, you just light up. So like,
Yeah,
and that's a testament to exactly that, isn't it? Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
smile and that sparkle is totally there as soon as you, and that
yeah,
also really makes people see like the authenticity of it. So if
yeah,
somebody's not authentic, they don't have that like, do you know what I mean? They just don't have
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
lovely. It really is, and you do totally light up when you start talking about it. It's so beautiful.
yeah. So yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing really is get my smile
I
back.
love that. I love that. Oh, I should be
Oh,
plugged in. Why is he telling me I'm not plugged in? Hold
oh,
on. Hold the bus.
what are you doing?
I know I don't know that sometimes my wee plugs are like to
Is it not plugged in?
no, it is plugged in. Oh, there we go. We're sorted. It just pulled out a wee
Sorted.
bit. So what would you say to the person listening who feels stuck in like an unsure stage right now? So that stage that we spoke about, and we've
Mm.
obviously given them some tools where they can go and do stuff. But what
Do
would you,
stuff.
if they were like in front of you right now, what would you say to them?
I'd probably say, I'd probably just say, talk to me
Mm,
because I think people that are feeling stuck often think there is something bigger than the root cause of why they're feeling stuck. So I think it's peeling back the layers, whatever you want to call it, peeling back the layers of the onion, whatever you want to call it, is getting to the root cause of why they're feeling stuck.
yeah.
And if they can't find it on their own, I think the biggest thing is find somebody to talk to.
Mhm.
But somebody that's Switzerland is what I always say. Somebody
Sorry.
that's not somebody that's Switzerland, so somebody that's not going to easily persuade you
Oh, right,
or
okay,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
jump in the boat with you, kind of thing. You want somebody that you need a sounding board, I think, when
yeah.
you're really stuck in those situations. It's not being afraid to ask for help, ask for support, ask for a sounding board, because I think lots of time we catastrophize things
Mm,
when we're thinking about things on our own. But I think it's getting to the root cause of what's really going on, because
yeah,
actually the thing that you're focusing on where you're really stuck actually might not be the thing.
yeah. It's
So
often
yeah,
not, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So I think it's just talk to me.
yeah. And
So
when you're
that's what I
emotional
think.
about something, when you are emotionally connected to something, you have a very different perspective of somebody who's
Yeah,
not, don't
yeah,
you?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, get help, get support. It's not a weakness. It's actually the strongest thing that you can do sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. So I always ask this question,
Okay.
if you could go back and tell yourself at that age, whatever that may be, it might even be younger, whatever's the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
thing
yeah.
to do. If you could go back and tell her anything, what would you say?
I'd say you're strong, you're kind, you're caring and compassionate, and don't ever let the world stop you being who you want to be.
I love that. I
That's
love
probably what I'd say.
I love
Yeah,
that. And it's
yeah,
it is so true, isn't it? When we actually do that wee moment of looking back and talking to our former self, it,
yeah.
you do have so much compassion and so much
You
kindness and so much
do.
love and so much,
Yeah,
don't you? But like if you were to
yeah,
actually put yourself back in those shoes again,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the complete opposite, isn't it? It's just whoa.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're great at giving it to everybody else, but not so
100%.
great at doing it for ourselves as well. So
hmm
yeah,
Right, I've got
amazing.
another wee one for you. If you
Oh,
finish this sentence, right? Finish this sentence.
go on.
I used to think I was blank, but now I am blank.
I used to probably think I was like a shell,
Yeah.
but now I feel like I'm freaking superwoman.
Let's go.
I used to feel like I was a shell, just like stuck on a beach, just like waves drifting over me, not really existing, not
Yeah.
really anything. Even though
Hmm.
they're beautiful because they're
Yes.
there and they've got gorgeous colours, they've got everything. But now I feel like I'm Superwoman or Wonder Woman, whoever, whatever pants I want to wear on the day. Just feel like I can take on the bloody world.
Yeah.
Absolutely do.
And
Yeah. So that's probably it.
what does the future look like for you? What does a future version of you? Because we're always growing, we're always evolving.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. I want to carry on with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I've got two audiences. So I help and support franchisors develop their franchise networks, which I love, which is exactly the same lane as I do locally for business owners. But I see longer term. I want to develop, I run an event called The Connection, and it's about bringing communities together, about helping, supporting people, making business support, mindset coaching affordable. And I want to grow that even further. So we've got a second one in April next year, and I want to grow that even further into a bigger community. So it's
Mhm.
leaving a legacy, and everything is accessible
Mhm.
for people. So it might end up being a CIC, I don't know.
Mhm.
But that's where I want to go at the minute, to make support, coaching, mindset, all of that accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
It's one of my big things.
And I think especially if you are a business owner, it can feel really lonely. Like it
Yeah,
really can feel
really
lonely. So
lonely, really lonely.
having things like that where you are connecting with other people and yeah, have got other people in your kind of corner, I feel like, even
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're not in you've not in a team or whatever like that.
yeah,
But it's like recognizing that actually all these people have lots of the same problems, for want of a
yeah. They
better
do.
word, and have navigated them or are in them at the same time as you. And then you've got that, like you say, a soundboard, a bit of
Yeah,
a kind of shared
yeah,
journey that you can kind of
yeah,
go on. It's not, it doesn't make you feel alone all the time.
yeah. Absolutely. And there's a big thing, isn't there, about making. Well, I always believe that actually giving is really important because it will always come back to you tenfold. So at the minute, it might be thinking I'm giving more than I'm receiving, but actually keep giving because
Yeah.
you never know when it's going to come back round to you. But I'm very much that I want to help and support the community. People need to be together. They need to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, particularly when they're starting out businesses or having a tough time or got families, they can't. Then it's not as accessible, the business support
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they need is. So I want to try and make it accessible. Want to try and make the learning accessible to everybody as well. But
Mhm.
have me and a team that do it with me because I love recordings. I think they're
Yeah.
great, but sometimes you just need that human connection.
Yeah.
You can't beat
I,
it.
I totally could not
Yeah.
advocate that for anymore. Like the power of human connection is
Yeah,
just
it's
incredible,
huge.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And as
it's
much
absolutely
as
huge.
like online and that was great, like there's totally a place for that. But
Yeah,
nothing beats just like feeling somebody else's energy and
yeah,
like vibing with a bunch of other people. Nothing beats that.
absolutely. There's
Mhm.
nothing quite like being in a room with loads of people. I
Mhm.
can't advocate it more. I'm an avid networker as well. I can't beat. I just love being with people,
Mhm.
all the time. So
Would you have
yeah,
always been like that, do you think? Like, like now you've got the confidence and stuff like that to do that. Do you think back if it was to be like that kind of former version of yourself, do you
I
think you
think
would be
I
reluctant?
think I did, but I masked when I was doing it
Yeah.
because a lot of the role I did was supporting people with business development to grow their business. So I'd have to literally take people out with me and do things and do community
Mhm.
events. So I did, but I would put a
That's
mask
right.
on before I went out and pretend to be something I wasn't. But now I'm just me.
I
And
love
it's
that.
very much, of course, I care what people think, but actually, I'm like, this is me, take it or leave it,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing,
And it's the
which is
best
a really
way.
nice place to be.
Yeah,
Really nice.
it
And there's
is.
lots of people that leave me, and that's fine. But
Yeah,
actually, I'm not their person then, and that's
yeah.
okay. We're all different. So,
100%.
but
Could
yeah,
not
yeah.
advocate that for anymore. So if you could leave the women listening, and there's some guys that listen as well, but predominantly
Fab
it's
stuff.
women, what would you want every woman or guy to remember listening to this?
I would love them all to remember that they're worthy, that they're worth something.
Hmm.
And as tough as it might feel now, and you're not sure where to go, take that time to look after yourself, to heal yourself, and put yourself first because you know what? There's something exciting over the hill, over the other end. So it comes back to that self-worth. So be worthy is probably
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Would you agree? This is me going off on tangents now. Would you agree that the majority of the women you work with, the core belief is an unworthiness?
Yeah, I think it's one
Yeah.
of the big ones.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Me
big
too.
ones. And that comes back to conditioning, doesn't it? A lot
Yeah.
of it. But yeah, they're not worthy to be a business owner, not
Hmm.
worthy to charge this
Hmm.
amount of money,
Yes.
not worthy to be in that speak on that stage or be in that position, because
Yeah.
who am I? Well,
Yeah.
you are you, and you're amazing.
Hmm.
But I think we forget it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, I've obviously run the
Yeah,
podcast with a guest for a while, so I
yeah.
think he maybe like 22 or 23 or something like that.
Wow.
But I remember a girl coming on and she was, oh, I thought this was like the prerequisite. I didn't realise we were doing it right now. And I was like, but
Oh, I love that.
everybody's story is important. Like
Absolutely
nobody's
it is.
story is more important. And there's a few other people that are coming on who are like, when I'm telling them, oh, I've had this bit, like this story and this story, just to give them an idea of like the unsure
Yeah,
and kind of thing.
yeah,
And they're like, oh my goodness, like why? And I was like, no, because your story is important. Somebody's going to resonate with it, and
yeah,
somebody's going to be like, oh, actually, like in the same position as that person, or being in that
yeah,
same,
yeah,
or feeling that same way, or whatever. Like, so
yeah.
it's everybody's story's got power, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And we've all got a story, even if we don't think we have. And
Mm.
that's part of the healing process. You've got to dig and find the story.
Hmm.
Because we mask it, we put it to the back of our brain, don't we? Lots of it as well.
Hmm.
And what do they say? You've got to speak from the scar, not the wound. And I think if you're
Yes.
still healing, that's when you're struggling to find your story.
Yes.
Isn't
Hmm.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
100%. I
it's that
love
fear
that
of
little
judgment.
quote about the scar and the wind. I absolutely love that because especially in the healing space, I feel like
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to be really careful. Like
Yeah.
there probably is some coaches who and again no disrespect to
No,
anybody
no, no.
who who maybe are still in the healing process themselves, and then
Yeah.
it's dangerous, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
if you're
Absolutely.
going and helping other people and you're still
Healing
in
yourself.
that space.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, it's not like there's ever that's me, I'm healed, cracked it. Like it doesn't happen like that. But you need to be like that from the scar, don't you? 100%
Yeah,
is so crucial.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely, and it's to protect you as well.
Yeah.
And I would say there's always moments when we have a moment, but actually you've got to look after yourself before you can then go out and support other people. You
Yes.
absolutely have.
Amen.
So
And on that
absolutely.
note, how can people find you? So if somebody was like, I want to speak to her, she's my woman.
They can find me on Instagram, Michelle Reade Coaching, Reade. Have to say that, always do.
Mhm.
Michelle Reade Coaching. Same on Facebook and LinkedIn. I am Michelle Reade as well. So yeah,
Fabulous.
reach out to me.
I will link your stuff that probably the Instagram will link it on the show notes as well, so people can
Yeah,
just
yeah,
click into it as well.
yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on. Your
Thank
story
you so
is
much for having me. It's been gorgeous to spend the afternoon with you, and you
so
are
fun.
amazing what you're doing. Absolutely. Getting people's stories out there, sharing it, because as you say, every story is going to help somebody move and be
Absolutely.
healed. At the end of the day, it really is. So well done, you.
Absolutely. Mic drop, Michelle. Mic drop, mic drop.
Right,
Right, thank you
amazing.
so much for listening. Thank you, Michelle, for coming on. If you want to reach out to any of us, feel free to do it. I'll put both our Instagrams in the show
Yeah.
notes. And have a magical rest of your day, whenever you're listening to this. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. This is where I can't find the. There
Turn
we
off.
go.
You done it?